So I did experiments with 3 different types of resin. I used Resin Obession, which is my go-to. Then this new one is Culture Casting Resin. And then I did art resin. So Culture Cast and art resin are 1-to-1 ratio. And Resin Obession is actually 2-to-1 ratio. So here's my ones that I did for the Resin Obession. Got a little bubble right there, so little imperfection there. But other than that, that was actually pretty good for this, except for it's also in the eye right there. And this was just another mold I had. So this one actually did pretty well. And now the Culture Cast. This is Marie. Looks like we only got a little bubble right there and right there. And then I did the purple Pikachu again right there. Sorry, I'm getting over a cold and had a coughing fit. So we got a little bubble there, in the eye right there, and in the eye right there, and a little around the mouth. And then all these bubbles on the ridges. And a lot on this side. Didn't really get any bubbles with the Resin Obession. Did a little bit on this one, but much better backing. And here's another one I did, a color mixture. So half pink and half blue. Blue took over. And still bubbles. And lots of tiny little bubbles here. And then here's the other mold, Stitch. It's just got a little bubble right there. And right there this time. And right there. Not, well, little bubbles right around the ridges. And then I did a mixture where I just poured clear and then I dumped alcohol inks in. So I can't wait to polish this off. Still little imperfections here and there. And now the art resin. Here's the Marie. I think that was the best mold ever because it's like got barely any imperfections. And here's the yellow Pikachu. So again, bubble there, right there, and right there, and right there. So far, all of them had bubbles and little bubbles along the ridges, which I have to sand this down and, you know, then coat it with resin again. And here's the Stitch one. I guess it really just depends on the mold too, if it has bubbles or not. This one did a bit better. A lot less noticeable molds or bubbles around the edges. And then I did a color mix. And this is red and black, and the black just took over. And you can see more of the bubbles right there and there. And right there, and right there. And right there, and then edges. That had the most bubbles. And then this was a resin, clear resin with alcohol inks. I can't wait to finish this one off and polish it. It looks so cool. So out of my favorites, it's really hard to say. I did combine Culture Casting Resin and the Art of Resin, and it mixed beautifully. No problems there. Lots of bubbles. So I don't really like Art of Resin because it had a lot more bubbles on the back. Not sure which one I like the best, but there is a price difference, so let's talk about the price. So this is just their biggest bottle. I don't have the ounces, but this is kind of pretty much Resin Obession. Breakdown is $2.35 an ounce. Culture Cast is $1.34 an ounce, so that's why I like them. And then Art of Resin is $1.53 an ounce. So I'm probably going to stick to the culture cast just for price difference. Thank you for listening.